The match is tied. 90th minute. The whistle blows, players swarm the ref, and the game grinds to a complete halt. Going into the 2026 World Cup, FIFA is rolling out 9 distinct rule changes, engineered specifically to eliminate these exact moments of dead time. This is a mathematical attempt to force continuous play by stripping away the traditional game management tactics teams have relied on for decades. This diagram illustrates what FIFA is targeting. On the left, the dark arts, the classic toolkit of time wasting, referee mobbing, and fake injuries to kill momentum. On the right, the countermeasures, strict countdown clocks, rigid substitution limits, and an expanded scope for VAR. The question you have to ask before kickoff is whether this will actually deliver more action or if it simply replaces player-driven stalling with technology-driven referee pauses. Evaluating these rules requires measuring the actual time gained against the mechanical friction they introduce to a live match. While the official focus is on fairness, these changes represent a shift toward a game governed by the official's clock rather than player intuition. Let's start with the first bucket of changes, the strict new pacing protocols designed to eradicate dead ball stalling. A substituted player now has exactly 10 seconds to leave the pitch. Meanwhile, referees can initiate a 5-second countdown for delayed throw-ins and goal kicks. We can evaluate these rules by plotting them on this quadrant chart. The horizontal axis measures the positive impact on game pace, and the vertical axis measures the implementation friction, how disruptive the rule is to enforce. The 10-second substitution limit and 5-second countdowns plot into the bottom right, designed to force immediate restarts without complex intervention. The penalties give these timers teeth. Delaying a goal kick past 5 seconds automatically becomes a corner kick. FIFA is also taking aim at the fake injury. Any outfield player treated on the pitch must now stay on the sideline for a full minute after play restarts. This creates a direct trade-off. It penalizes anyone needing medical attention, forcing their team to survive with 10 men during potentially critical phases of play. These timers will likely strip out the sport's most common stalling tactics, but they also turn referees into clock watchers, rushing the natural rhythm of tactical adjustments. That brings us to the second set of changes, moving from objective timers to the direct management of player behavior. FIFA is currently considering stronger punishments, specifically for players who cover their mouths while confronting opponents. They are also developing direct sanctions for any player, or entire teams, who leave the pitch to protest a referee's decision. On our chart, these behavioral rules land in the top left quadrant. They offer very little benefit to the actual pace of play, but carry a significant amount of friction. While these bans increase transparency, they rely on subjective enforcement. Referees are now required to judge a player's intent in the heat of a confrontation. This empowers officials to hand out match-altering cards for perceived behavioral slights rather than actual fouls. The final bucket of changes moves away from the players and focuses entirely on structural match pauses and technological interventions. Video assistant referees can now review offenses committed before a restart, provided they directly affect a goal, penalty, or disciplinary decision. The system's scope is also expanding, so VAR can step in to correct second yellow cards, mistaken identity, and wrongly awarded corners. On the chart, this plots into the top right. The VAR expansion aims for higher accuracy, but creates maximum implementation friction. The trade-off is clear. You exchange the frustration of a blown call for the prolonged frustration of video review pauses. However, the most contradictory rule in this lineup is the mandated 3-minute hydration break, which will happen midway through every half, regardless of the weather. Artificially stopping the game twice a match directly conflicts with the goal of maintaining continuous play. While it's framed as a player safety measure, this rule guarantees commercial and tactical pause windows, mimicking the structure of American sports. The drive for absolute technical accuracy and safety will inevitably cause the exact type of game stoppages the timer rules were designed to eliminate. Step back from the individual rules, and the new reality comes into focus. Traditional game management through stalling is being replaced by a hyper-regulated environment. Whether this feels like an improvement depends entirely on what kind of football fan is watching. This decision matrix lays out the verdict across 3 distinct viewer segments, comparing exactly what you gain against what you lose. If you are a casual spectator, you gain more ball and play time and more continuous action. Because entertainment-first viewers lose very little in this exchange, the 2026 rules represent a net positive for this group. For the tactical purist or the underdog fan, you lose the ability for smaller teams to strategically manage the clock and disrupt much larger, more talented opponents. Teams must now rely on pure squad depth and stamina over 90 minutes, making tactical underdog upsets harder to achieve. Finally, the traditionalist. You gain technical accuracy with the correct calls, but you lose the organic flow of the game to countdown clocks and extensive VAR reviews. The responsibility for a match's tempo is moving from the players on the field to the officials in the booth and on the sidelines. The 2026 World Cup is built to maximize ball and play time through oversight, meaning the stopwatch and the referee are now the primary arbiters of the game's rhythm.